What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 18 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Abnagg Hellbeard Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Abnagg used the goblin or skink hewers to great effect, knocking the pterodon riders out of the sky that so threatened his, at this time, a rather weak army, and then proceeded to destroy the last remnants of the cult of Sotek. I've even started to forget the name of the faction. Otherwise, we have used the anti-aversion mod just to speed things along, as obviously the interest in this campaign has sort of disappeared several episodes ago now, and I would like to get a few more fights with some dwarven units before we sort of round out the campaign. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this particular turn, we have suffered a loss here as the Poxmarsh has been taken by Tolathor. Frankly, I'm surprised that it took these guys this long to sail over to us, but I guess they were busy with whatever else. We have been trying to get them to fight other factions. Frankly, if we really wanted to, we could peace out with them, most likely, or at the very least very close to it, but at this time I think it's probably not worthy of our attention or our gold, of which we don't have enough. Well, how can a dwarf ever have enough gold, chaos or regular? Anyway, I believe we still have to move a couple of things. Izdubar, you were going to head out to... let's go right past our territory just outside the Sea Corps. We'll grab it at the start of the next turn, and then we'll move Dimzad into your army, as I was originally going to send him to another army because we could double up on metal in this army, but the death will also help here as we need the repairs for these skullcrackers and such. Then... I swear there was somebody else that we needed to move, but I don't remember who it was. Not you, Reishi. Who else was there? Where are you? Sistit Vargarl. Oh, right, you were just piling up piles, getting lots of gob laborers in case we needed them to defend. I guess we can keep that up. Alright, go for it. Go for another giant pile of gob laborers. And just to follow along, frankly, we'll just delete them all soon, but anyway. And frankly, every army should still have a goblin horde following them, and Izdubar Grimtideson at the current time does not have one, so yeah. Anyway, let's skip, and I guess we will just end the turn. We'll see if any of the Tomb Kings can reach or attack us right now. Probably could have tried to give some spare items to the army up north that's defending the Poxmarsh, or they see near Poxmarsh, but we'll see what the enemy does. Clanmores! I don't care about this. I mean, really the only reason to... Really? Really? You're gonna attack the Awakening? Oh, I was not expecting that, but I am pleasantly surprised by it, as, well, I'm sure the Awakening can deal with these guys just fine, even without a defensive structure. Away we go. Alrighty, here we go. I do question the AI. That was actually... No, actually, it didn't do... That really didn't do anything. Anyway, I question the AI's idea of attacking this particular fortified location, rather than simply, you know, going after that March Dancing Army or Full Speed Dancing Army, but whatever. Anyway, looks like the enemy is doing a fairly decent bit of work with its Bone Giant. 2 volleys knocking out 14 of the Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses on the wall. As to whether that's going to be sufficient to prevent the blunderbusses absolutely annihilating the enemy monstrous and regular infantry as they approach this fortified position, well, I somehow, let's just say, have my doubts. And the Bone Giant, in the meantime, is going to get hit back as we arc our shots from the Death Shriek rockets launchers right into, well, that Bone Giant, who is now below half of its HP. There we go. We're approaching the blunderbusses now, and those Crypt Hulks are eating many a blunderbuss volley. A little bit of help from the towers, though obviously these are the basic towers, and they're not going to do all that much. And interestingly enough, the Chaos Dwarfen line doesn't look too bad with the Vampire Coast sort of fortifications. Or maybe I'm just so biased towards vampires that anything will look good at their walls. Anyways, speaking of the walls, the enemy does try to get around us with some skeleton horses trying to get through this gate. Fortunately, though, we did deploy 2 of our units of Chaos Dwarf Warriors on this side to activate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I probably missed a bunch of towers. Oh, 8 towers at once. So yeah, those poor skeleton horses are getting absolutely annihilated. In the meantime, 1 unit of Crypt Hulks is pretty much down. The Bone Giant is defeated or destroyed or demolished by the Demolisher rocket would probably be the more appropriate phraseology there. Phrasing. And the enemy lord cannot close the distance with the gate because Crypt Hulks are attempting to whack away at it, which means more blunderbuss volleys and gonna smash into him. Now, the first of the enemy skeleton warriors and Tomb Guard, I guess, have arrived and are starting to climb the walls on both sides. Of course, our blunderbusses will continue to fire until they're ready to switch with the Chaos Dwarf warriors behind them. Also, I find it quite interesting that the AI decided to deploy pretty much all of its army, with the exception of the skeleton horses, on this particular side. Frankly, that makes it a fair bit, I would say, easier for us just because we're able to concentrate the blunderbusses. Granted, we are only able to use our 2 towers, as in the wall towers in this particular location, whereas in any other location we'd have access to more and would be able to spread that out. But again, all the blunderbusses concentrating their fire is pretty darn devastating. The gate is about half of its HP. And the Tomb Guard are still climbing, but the Chaos Dwarf Warriors have now moved on in to help defend the blunderbusses. Going to clear out those Tomb Guard quick as we can, and then move our way to, well, continuing to fire with the blunderbusses. In the meantime, we have summoned our Kadai Fireborn. Unfortunately for the Kadai, of course, the enemy do surround them pretty much immediately and annihilate them with the Necropolis Knights, but it did allow us a few extra seconds to fire upon the Hyro Titan with those Demolisher rockets. Not that the Hyro Titan is all that much of a threat anymore, especially as it's so slow the blunderbusses would most likely just demolish it as it approached the walls. The main reason was to keep the Great Bow Ushabti busy, and we are going to fire upon them as well soon, as they're pretty much the only threat remaining as long as the AI doesn't get through the gate. And nice work to those Demolisher rockets. Look at this Hyro Titan. He's hiding. He thinks he can't see him behind that tree. You're a little bit too big there, fella. Anyway, gate is down to about a quarter of its HP, and the Hyro Titan about to fall. It is nice that we do get 1 Demolisher rocket, or the Death Shrieker rocket launcher, as a defensive unit, and we actually get it on any tower regardless of the tower's level, so tier 1 tower also gets that, which is quite nice and quite helpful here. Tomb Guard are actually making a decent little bit of a beachhead. Admittedly, their regular Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and unbuffed at that, are not going to be very quick at bringing them down, but bringing them down they eventually will. We do try to hit the enemy with a Burning Wrath. Unfortunately, every single one of the 3 shots failed to land, which is a little bit disappointing, but I wasn't expecting them to really do any damage to the Necropolis Knights that are out here anyway, so it hardly matters. Anyway, with the enemy Hyro Titan down, the Death Shriekers will now focus down that last threatening unit of the Ushabti with Great Bow. With the main issue with the Death Shriekers is that every single Death Shriek rocket seems to target a single unit. They don't spread out amongst the enemy battle line. I find it very weird that the devs sort of retain this tendency on artillery pieces. See, notice that all 4 somehow magically are accurate enough to all hit 1 unit like this. I remember that the magic missiles used to do the same thing, and then, I don't know, like a year ago or whenever it was, the devs made it so that the magic missiles now spread out amongst an enemy battle line, so that they're not super accurate and waste their damage, making them better. The fact that this wasn't done with artillery fire seems absolutely insane. And then also kind of nonsensical, because obviously these artillery are not that accurate. Or I should say all artillery are not that accurate, because you can see the same thing happening with other artillery pieces as well, that generally would be missing other sort of fire. But anyway, not that it's super important. Especially with the Death Shriekers, which are super high arcing and decent to that sort of thing. And it's not like it makes any kind of difference here, as the enemy army is pretty much done. They do nearly manage to break through the gate, 314 HP on it remaining, but alas, they fail. And with the failure to break through the gate, there is absolutely nothing else that they can do. And the reason that they failed was right at the end there, we pushed out with some of our other units to move through the gate. We also got a few ogre units here in reserve. Would have been nice to use them, but again, this is why I questioned the AI actually attacking this place. It would need more than a single stack to take it. Settlement capital or province capital and all that. Alrighty, last volley from those Death Shriekers, now switched at least to the multi-shot variant. Huh. And I wonder, are the multi-shot variant not susceptible to that accuracy thing? Just out of curiosity. Let's see if another one lands, and I want to see if they all land in the same place or sort of intersperse themselves amongst the enemy line. Ooh, but with the blunderbusses firing, that is not likely. Yeah, see, these ones seem to be a little bit better at that. Alright, and there we go. A heroic victory, comparatively a little damage, and the battle is very much ours. I guess that little emergency army we built wasn't actually necessary after all. Go figure. Alright, there we go. I don't know who these guys think they are to assume that they can assault a Chaos Dwarfen fortified position, even in, you know, not so fortified position, as we don't have a defensive structure or anything. But yeah, they had no chance there. We will take the money, I think. Yeah, the money looks to be more worth it. It looks like one construct unit survived, but that hardly matters. We should be able to reclaim Poxmarsh rather quickly as well. Peace negotiated between the Citadel of Dusk and Clan Pestilence. Right. I wonder if that means that the Citadel of Dusk is going to declare war on us. Oh, you want peace now, do you? Isn't that cute? You don't hate us all that much anymore, but at this point, it's probably pointless to peace out with you, as you might take territory from the Spinosotek Dwarfs, and I think we don't want that, so it's not going to happen. Oh, did you manage to besiege the place, or are you just sitting outside of it? Because if you are, it ain't going to end well for you. Alright, and did I see another army up here? Were those heroes? No, I think it's just heroes running around. Oh, all the special necrotects, yeah. Patras, necrotects all over the place. Alright, enemy killed in battle. Wound. Oh, you have got to be freaking kidding me. Our new Infernal Castellan with all those items and what can you do? New convoy contracts. Oh, did I check convoys? No, we're at 2 out of 2, so we're good. For at least for this turn, we're good. Alrighty, then. 243, meaning we can do another Steelies. Let's see. I'm gonna say Grand Architect for the construction time slowdown. Like so. Alright, and I don't care about the relationship reduction. Then, you, Sumayazgex, are going to... I really hope that you can land and take this in one go. You might not be able to, but we'll give it a shot. And... you can. Alright, beautiful. Auto-resolve. And once again, reclaim it as factory. We could liberate the Awakened. Occupies factory. There we go. Jungle of Webs, and we will go back to Masterful Architects, and we will rebuild the place quick as we can. Fortunately, this is one of the few places, well, the cheapest place with the reductions, thanks to the pottery. Although, funnily enough, pottery is the thing that would enable us to upgrade this stuff, but we don't. Yeah, that's all good. We'll get it up and running and it'll all be good. Anyway, Assistant Vargal. Who are you again? You are an Adust Overseer, which means you are potentially a recruiter. I obviously prefer the considered ones, and actually that recalls me to the fact that we have a considered one out here, so let's get another considered one in here. Ganina was the place with the Carnival of Nurgles. You can sit there, although those plagues are admittedly running rampant through our territories, but every considered unit is still valuable, like so. Ooh. Or do we go for Adjutant rather than Inspiring Presence, in case we need you to recruit? Well... Let's keep it as it is for now, and then we'll see. Anyway, Assisted Vargarl, well, let's get you... Is that an island? Fell Cargo, probably a fight there to be had. Actually, speaking of cargoes and fights, you, go into Izdubar Grimtidesen's army, please. Then I would like you to go into regular stance. I would like you to auto-resolve whatever is here. Auto-resolve. And really, that was way more damage than I would have liked, but probably gotta get used to it. I never will. Oh wow, it's kind of thundering outside. Sorry if that if the mic picks that up, guys. Anyway, we do need to destroy Citadel of Dusk, but at the same time, this army can't actually most likely defend against the proper stack, so I think Izdubar should still move up here nonetheless. You heal in our own controlled territory. I would like to see how well you heal in the Great Ocean. Same amount, okay. And then in enemy territory and shared territory, also same amount. Okay, go figure. Alright, go this way then. And this is a plague, and that's fine. You can heal, maybe pick this up, and we just gotta get ready to claim these islands. Frankly, Sumai could probably help with that. Also, yeah, okay, just doing this. 1, 2, and then 1. Yeah, there you go. Giant piles of gobs. Alrighty, Abnagg, I would like you... Well, frankly, there's several things I'd like you to do, but... Oh, actually, wait. We are at Tier 1. Do you have the Slayer Shrine anywhere? Or being constructed anywhere? No, it doesn't look like they do. Damn, we need the frickin' Slayer Shrine. It would be really unfortunate not to have it, but they're literally the last dwarfs most likely on the entire map since Karazgarak has fallen, so... All we can do is hope that they get Slayers, but until we have them, we're just gonna have to deal with what we got. Speaking of what we've got here... Spinosotek Dwarfs. I guess we'll use the points for some Iron Drakes, though that is technically going into another army. So we could delete some of the garbage in your army and then replace it with some flamethrowers just to deliver it to another army. It's a little bit annoying, but, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. But then our money situation won't fix itself. Ugh, I say. Anyway, Abnagg. I guess we're just gonna go here. We will travel in channeling, like so. These guys could attack us with a double stack, too, potentially. Ah. 7 more turns of this reduction as well. Anyway, I would like you to go right beside Abnagg here. If I can actually do this. Like so, and you have the pile of random garbage. You can... Let's see, you've maxed out Gehennas, which is the most important thing. Frankly, you're just a follower lord, so yeah. Let's go for Searing Doom, let's go for Metal Shifting. I do like Glittering Robe and the occasional Plague of Rust, but I think I'd like to grab Final Transmute. Nah, you know what, let's get Transmutation. Alrighty. And this way, with this guy following, at least Abnagg has a caster. And then, Bruiser, our original tough Toruk. We were going towards Colossal Strike previously. I mean, we could, I guess, max out training now that we have that important stuff. Nah. Frankly, I'm still thinking that I might get another Toruk into this army. So, and frankly, we could just trade this guy, because, you know, that's not a real army, as it were. Anyway, what do we have out here? Scafgrab. Oh, actually, before we jump into that, we still need to move Rugni Unzeled up towards the lizards. Although at this point, I feel that you need to start channeling, because you've lost all your mana, and frankly, you do need it. And all you guys, just in case you get attacked, you will go this way as well. Frankly, I probably shouldn't have sent both of these guys up here and should have sent one of them down there, but whatever. Needful and needful, yes. Alright. And neither one of you are going to be follower armies, so frankly, we could use another Needful Sorcerer Prophet of any kind, really. We have a Needful of Death, and we have already one that exists, Izdubar the Bullheaded. Alright, fair enough. Let's get you on field, even with you being at level 1. And then we'll give you this stuff, and then you can be a follower lord. Because you, Sumayazgax, are a recruiter lord because you're considered, although with your father's crown, you can actually lead an army as well, so probably going to do that. Next up, we got Kigal Barak, who is going to, I mean, in theory, reinforce. Oh, garbage. Okay, wait, you know what? Maybe we can auto-resolve this. I fear that we might not be able to, but we should give it a try. Just because this is mostly trash. You go here. You have 1 point. Let's max out firing drills, because obviously this army is based around it. And then we'll attack this guy. Heroic victory against this garbage. Oh, man, okay. Well, I fear we're going to have to manually fight this real quick. I see no real choice in the matter. And just kill them all with artillery. And then we will... Well, actually, frankly, the game's probably going to force us to fight the other army as well. Yeah, the Outer Reserve doesn't seem to like this army, unfortunately. At all. And I get that it's a mostly ranged army. So that is... at least to some degree understandable, but I still don't have to like it. What I suppose then we'll have to do is put some range, or melee rather, stuff in this army. Anyway, I would like you guys to Vanguard deploy like this, and then you guys can go behind them because you can arc your shots over. We will all target the enemy artillery piece. Frankly, yeah, I just want to make use of this rock. You guys could probably move a little bit further away. I'm just hoping that the sort of terrain doesn't interfere with the magma cannons. You need to be here in front of them. You maybe move slightly. Well, no, just stays here. Alrighty, and go into guard mode. I would like you to... Oh, you can't Vanguard deploy. Only the cannons can, at least so far. Alright, fine, fair enough. You guys move up. You guys get ready to reinforce. You guys get ready to, you know, do stupid gob things. In fact, you are faster, so I would like you to go here. I would like you to go here. I would like you to go here. Because you should be able to get into position before the blunderbusses do. Granted, the enemy is also slow, but it does have some faster moving elements, so let's not risk it. Frankly, surprised the Sky Lanterns can't Vanguard deploy, but it is what it is. At least you two can position yourselves rather quickly. Alrighty, I think that's everything. So let's start the battle. You guys all target this. And then I would like you to... Oh, wow. Of course they used the frickin' on our entire army. So rude. They used their Tomb Swarm, but it is what it is. Alright, you guys go right here. I would like the blunderbusses here. You guys go behind them like so. Try to use the terrain. Maybe you can fire over them a little bit. And in fact, you guys can go a little bit behind the granite guard like so. You try not to get in the way of the artillery pieces. And did I activate the accuracy? Let's activate accuracy. Moving up closer. Alright, how's that enemy artillery piece? It looks pretty good to me. Alrighty, next up we will switch the magma cannons to firing upon these skeleton archers. And I could do some area denial with this. Alrighty, and I do see some enemies coming this way, so let's do this. You move here, and then you move here to protect the units and fire at them. You guys are repositioning like so. And let's do... Alrighty, you guys. I'd like you to arc your shots, and I'd like you to arc your shots at... I don't know, another one of these guys. Yeah, maybe this one. There we go. Alright, Armor of Contempt for all y'all. And do we need any casting here? I mean, I guess we could reduce enemy. This is here. You can go kill the enemy lord. You can now interfere with these guys like so. Alrighty, and then you can debuff the enemy lord as well. You can pop up that Helm of Discord and then pop down your Flame and Shadow. You can maybe cast your Burning Hatred, whatever this thing's called. Burning Wrath, whatever. Hatred, Wrath's all good. Alright. Gobs are eating a few shots, both from us and from the enemy, but that hardly matters. And, right, the reinforcement guy came in. Let's have you move in to help out. Though the rest of the gobs, I fear, will not be able to reach him. Let's retarget you and you. You guys can turn off auto-fire so that you don't kill too many of our own units. Not that we really care that much about the gobs. Alright, the enemy lord has melted. Let's reposition. And, I thought that the Ushapti wouldn't be summonable, but it looks like they are. So let's turn all of you guys. Retarget the Ushapti. Retarget the Ushapti. You move this way. I'd like you to debuff specifically the Ushapti, and I would like you to turn off auto-fire. And, how'd you get so damaged? Alright, Ushapti should be dead in a second. I'm surprised these guys are still fighting. Now we can send them on their way with a nice little Flame and Shadow. There we go, they're starting to melt away. And, I guess our units can't target the skeleton archers. Fair enough. Annoying, but fair enough. Let's up your ammo. There we go. Alright, you guys not targeting the archers. There we go. Alright, Ushapti are dead. Repositioning now here. firing upon the enemy, and then you go after the Necropolis Knights. You reposition, you fire into their backs. Let's reduce their armor, and let's speed it up to max. There we go, we done now? And we done now. Alright, easy enough. Alright, 214 losses, pretty much all goblin laborers. That's why they're here until they get replaced or sent to a follower army. Like Kigalbarux, for example. We could have used the follower army units, but, you know, it would have taken slightly longer and blah. And I'm going to assume that the game is also similarly not going to... Okay, let's just find out in a sec. Take the... Ooh, decent amount of labor that time. Alright, a glittering scale is always nice, though once again, the Chaos Dwarfs says the faction where it's the least useful, just by virtue of the fact that it is available in our manufactory upgrades. Actually, speaking of, we're generating a decent amount of armaments now. Hellforge. Manufactory. Is there anything that we'd really, really like? So... let's go to War Machines. What do we have here? Magical attacks, Hellbindings. That's pretty darn nice. I'm gonna say at the very least we should do Hellbound. It's going to cost us 176 purchase and upkeep costs because we don't have so many of these, which is fine. I'm gonna say do it. No further modifications can be added to this unit category for 3 turns. Yeah, that's fine. We don't want to eat all of our armaments. Then we can get some, well, there's like missile infantry. What do we have here? Ooh, just magic items and reload time reduction? Why not? Do it. And that is now minus, yeah, a fair bit of armaments. All right, so let's keep it as it is. Let's see if this helps. Oh, it actually helps this army quite a bit. Let's see if it helps it auto-resolve, though. Which I have my doubts. Also, you will want the Hellforged Ordnance, unless I'm mistaken, so let's get you Hellforged Ordnance. I would also probably want one of you. You will want Reforged just in case, for emergencies, so I think I'm going to still go for Reforge. Alright, go for you. Go out there, go after Hatip, and Hatip is going to run. Yeah, but at least, and surprisingly, he didn't run around the island, which is what I was expecting. Alright, go kill him now. And Pyrrhic Victory, casualties high, but he'll still run. Fine. Let's give this to the Demon Smith Sorcerer, I guess. Alright, well, we'll fight this one, I think, cinematically. It's, frankly, not much stronger than the other army was, but you know what, why not? Alright, here we go. Just gonna be a small fight against the piles and piles of enemy skeletons and whatnot, though on the bright side, the terrain here doesn't lend itself well to the magma cannons actually landing their fire, so perhaps the enemy can approach, if not quite with impunity, with less unity, and thereby give us something of a fight here. Anyway, our artillery, ooh, every single shot. How do you miss the... I mean, I guess they dodged it, but the skeleton spears move so dang slow. Come on, Death Shriekers. And that looked like another miss. Come on now. Magma cannons are making you look like fools. Though admittedly, the Death Shriekers are here primarily to target the enemy constructs. So as soon as the constructs actually move into range, that's what they'll be doing. And we'll reposition ourselves slightly and get ready to fire once more. I've always found it a little bit weird that the Death Shriekers point sort of all the way up instead of before they fire, instead of slightly more at an angle, because they almost never fire, you know, directly upwards, right? They fire at something of an angle. But I still love the Chaos Dwarf and artillery animations, generally speaking. And I'm glad we got to play with that that one Dreadquake mortar train that we got in the... I don't remember which convoy it was, whichever convoy it was. Because it's been nice to have it. Instead of having to go all the way to a Tier 5 settlement and Tier 5 building and then actually recruit one. And then be sad because the Dreadpigs are so obnoxiously strong that it just carries the day by itself. Anyway, the Hyro Titan is on the approach, taking Demolisher rockets to the face, and it looks like the first of the enemy have now reached the Granite Guard here, who have like double the, well, not double, but more range than the First Mate's firing squad and the other blunderbusses. And we'll start firing upon those skelly boys rather quick. And once again, the Granite Guard look absolutely fantastic with their sort of bronze and black, or brass and black, so it's more bronzish armor that they've got. Alright, gonna pop off an Ash Storm to slow the enemy down, and in combination with that suppression, 4 movement speed on those Skeleton Spears. Ooh, the Higher Titan does survive long enough to hit back with a Shem's Burning Gaze, though. Only knocking out the one of the Granite Guard, but still, it's the principle of the thing. Enemy Skeleton, or Necropolis Knights rather, have charged on in, and we are going to have to keep them locked down as best we can with Mr. Scaff Growlish. But we're doing so reasonably well. The enemy is surrounding us, and our reinforcements have arrived on field in the form of all of those gob laborers, but they're likely to be surrounded rather quickly, and in the meantime, the enemy will spawn its pile of Ushabti. That's 24 Ushabti, right in the midst of our artillery battery. Which is unsurprising, but it is certainly something to be concerned about. Fortunately, the Sky Lanterns, which have been providing such a lovely support to our Chaos Dwarfen armies over the course of the campaign, will immediately be able to fire down upon them, and then we will send our flying lords and heroes to sort of tie them up while the artillery moves itself away and gets ready to fire once more. I am, however, impressed that the Skeleton Warriors did actually manage to reach our battle line. Although, like I said at the beginning of the fight, it is in part because the terrain doesn't favor this particular army. And especially when you go with all-ranged armies, and specifically all-ranged, primarily direct fire ranged armies, it is oftentimes somewhat concerning on certain battle maps because of the terrain. But that's what makes the sort of rock, paper, scissors elements very nice with these kind of themed armies, because there will be places where they are very weak, and that makes it more fun in my opinion. Alrighty, and just like the blunderbusses, and probably significantly more effectively than the blunderbusses, the Infernal Guard with Fire Glaives are protecting our flanks, fighting in melee. They've got 54 and 48 melee attack and defense, and 150 armor, thanks to that Bastion of the Great Cities from the War Drum. It does slightly bother me that the War Drum doesn't sort of fit with our aesthetic, but the Sky Lanterns very nicely fit with our aesthetic, so it's all good. Alright, and it looks like with that the skeletons begin to melt away. We have managed to protect the artillery from the Ushabti, pinning them in place with our flyers long enough for one of the blunderbusses to turn and tear them to shreds. One last unit of slow-moving skeleton warriors attempting to climb that hill while under suppression from the Granite Guard. Keeping in mind that we can, in theory, use the manufactory to give suppression to all of our units, or all of our range units, both the blunderbusses and the fire glaives. I'm still kind of on the fence. The main issue is that it overwrites the Fire Glaive's ability as well, and the Fire Glaives have Shield Breaker on them, which is also quite nice depending on the foe that you're facing. Though granted, suppression with the fact that it slows them down might still be doing as much damage as, you know, the shots penetrating the shielding more. Kinda hard to say. Almost tempted to test out which is the more effective against various units, but... oh, actually, I'm not entirely sure how I would test that out. Because you obviously can't choose that in replays to switch them between... I don't know, whatever. Anyway, close victory, apparently, but probably mostly due to ammunition expenditure, and a nice little fight. Alright, there we go. Nice quick little fight. A little bit more losses this time around, but again, by and large, it was Goblin Laborer losses, so hardly of relevance. And we got a solid 1812, or well, 1812, I wish. 812 rather, captives or laborers out of it. Lovely. Put the undead to work. And minus 4.2k now. That's starting to be a little bit painful. Scroll of Blast, you can hold on to that, though we will probably make it go away. And what is this? A shipwreck. Now, if it's a fight, the game will probably make us, yeah. Close victory? No, it'll kill off all the goblin laborers. Oh. Do I care? We do need them, clearly. Alright, manual fight this real quick. And this is why, yeah, we definitely gotta put a couple of melee units into this army. Though again, I don't know who I was gonna replace, because I wanted to put a Demon Smith Sorcerer of Fire into this army, right? Plus an unethical guy. That second unethical guy that was on the way. Frankly, a third unethical guy would be fantastic, but that basically completely rounds out the army. Not that it matters that much. Anyway, let's just set up real quick. Same sort of situation, except we don't have to worry about Ushapti being summoned on top of our units, so we hardly care about the... or we care a lot less, let's say, about this setup. You guys are probably no longer viable, so we'll just hold you back this time. Yes, that's right, we're actually going to preserve those poor gobs. You can remain over on this side, you guys can sort of back everybody up, you guys can float overhead as you do, and then you can buff everybody up. You can also move here, though frankly I'd like you to heal up anyway. Turn on skirmish mode and move. You guys can move this way, you can move this way, you can up your accuracy right here, you can float here and here. You guys can float overhead, and I'd like you to immediately activate your potion of toughness. And ooh, actually, flyers. I'd like you to go over there. And ow! I'm surprised that the enemy mortars are. Are they gonna be able to reach us? How far can they fire? Ooh, actually, back you guys off for now. I need to get the Death Shriekers in range. All right, you know what? Demon Smith Sorcerer. Go float overhead of these guys. You go this way. And mortars are gonna attack the overseer. All right, I guess we'll just drop the just drop this on you, just faster. And then you can back up. I just wanted them to get vision. All right, you guys go this way, and I'd like you three to pop up like this. You can defend the flanks in case anybody comes this way. In fact, wait, go up a little bit more. I don't want the enemy actually standing in the water because obviously Vampire Coast, all aquatic and all that. Alright, how's that? Oh, the Dreadquake didn't kill you? Alright, are the... yeah, rockets are in range now though, so let's do this. Alright, and, ooh, if it isn't an enemy lord, and... do we stop the enemy lord, or do we just... yeah, we'll just die to range. You know what, you back off. But you first stop taking further damage. You, however, can pop that Burning Wrath on... is there not a Depth Guard unit? Oh, it's already kind of being deleted. Alright, fair enough. Go for the Depth Guard, or not the Depth Guard, the Zombie Power Deckhand mobs, as I assume that was the only Depth Guard unit. Alright, looks good to me. Mortars should be just about done. One more shot, maybe, and ow. You are not able to fire at them. Alright, fine, fair enough. Switch to this guy. And then you switch to... okay. Either the mortar disappeared or it is actually still back there, but I guess we'll see. Let's slow the enemy down with Ash Storm. Actually, no, let's wait for them to get in range a little bit more. Alright, frankly, we are more or less likely, rather, to just be able to watch this more or less. Probably could target the artillery a little bit better, but frankly, it also doesn't matter over much. Alright, these guys will get their aquatic trait to cross the water, but frankly, they'll be pretty severely beat up by the time they do. Also, let's just make sure that you aren't able to fire on anything. Pop you right there. Alright, enjoy. Alright, I do love fighting the Vampire Coasts. Too bad that the Awakened are already gone. Well, they've been gone for a while now. Could have revived them. But it wasn't going to happen. And we got other undead to fight. Plenty of them, in fact. Alrighty, and we're just about done here. The enemy is melting away. Kadai are doing Kadai things as Kadai do. Let's target all of the rockets at these guys. Ah, you know what? Target the magma cannons at you as well. Why are you... What are you being blocked by? Oh, are you maybe being blocked by these guys? You know what? Hold back. And ooh, look at that. The zombie-powered gunnery mob is actually nearly here. They could perhaps get a Burning Wrath on them. Alright, you target the zombie-powered deckhand mob. And you as well. The Kadai have nearly finished their work. Probably should turn off auto-fire on all of these guys, though, because if we don't, it'll obviously run the risk of hurting our own units. And I feel like maybe we should go all the way to Bone Island and wipe these guys out so that, well, not these guys out, but the Tomb Kings out so we don't have to deal with them again. Yeah, at least these little zombos are happy. They get to take a nice dip here. Obviously, this is taking a little bit longer with me not controlling the army or doing anything, but at the same time, I had to watch a little mini pseudo-cinematic against the now rarely seen Vampire Coast. Obviously 0 losses, and admittedly we somehow managed to not send wave upon wave of sacrificial gobs at the enemy. Though it does hurt me not to do that. Alrighty, and we should be good. Come on now. As in to end the turn, unless I'm mistaken. What do we have here? 254 laborers. Yeah, I'm probably going to sell off labor in a second, so might as well. Alrighty, and then will we heal while moving to Bone Island? A little bit. Hopefully enough. I'm willing to bet we wouldn't be... actually, in March stance, that we would have to go to the Great Ocean. We would probably be able to reach it next turn. Alright, I'm going to risk it. Hopefully there isn't a super powerful full stack here. No, it looks like we're okay. And then you cannot move further, but that's life. And you're still healing in the Great Ocean. Good. We don't have an immunity to attrition thing temporarily, do we? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh. Frickin' rats are going to continue being annoying. Also, Abnagg... Wait, no, not Abnagg. You... I was going to hope to put you into an camp stance in order to maybe get a few flamethrower units here. I could summon another guy, but I don't think so. Alright, let's go to laborers real quick. Take a look at this by control. Minus 11 here in the Turtle Isles, which is unfortunate, but nonetheless, we're going to sell off. I really wish it didn't reset itself every single time, but anyway, sell off. Sell off. Sell off, sell off, sell off, and then once we will want the labor loss reduction. So like that. Everything else otherwise is efficient. Alright, then what we'll want to do is take a quick look at our building. And not here in... Well, I mean, I guess we could upgrade this. We do have a little bit of raw materials, but we have also been recruiting out of this place, therefore it has the military doctrine up and running, and therefore maybe we forgo it. Though we could use a little bit of extra cash out of these places, admittedly. Recruitment cost plus minus 25%. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's switch back to Masterful Architects for the next turn or two and then deal with it. Pillars of the Unseen Constellations. We could upgrade the Treasure Trove. Yeah, it's relatively cheap. We'll do it. But ignore the Public Order building. Great Turtle Isles. We are now able to upgrade the gun turrets here, which is probably still worth it. So we'll do that. And we'll go for both of these upgrades as well. This is the Miners' Workshop and the Sentinels of Jati, and we no longer need this building. This, however, we can keep because this is primarily a raw material territory. We could again go for the control to counteract some of the... Yeah, fine, just do it. We do have the cash. Probably not for long, but we do have it for now. And go for the alchemists thing. The medicinal plants. Alright, that was pretty much all of our raw materials, unfortunately, so no upgrading the... Oh. Well, too late now. I'm not going to cancel it. Oh, we have to wait the turn anyway. Unless we rush it, but I'm not going to do that either. Yeah, just hold off on all of this then. And even on... Yeah, just hold off on all those upgrades, but not on this upgrade. Overseer's Tower. Still costs 3.75k, though. That's with a 46% reduction. It still costs 3.75k. That seems a lot. Maybe the 46% reduction isn't quite working. We got... That's actually more than 46% now. Huh. Because we got the 20, plus we got the 5%, we got the 10 from this, so that's 30 already. We got 5% from research. That's 35. And then there was something else that also... oh, and then we have a 15% further reduction in any overseer or factory via technologies. So we should have a 50% reduction or whatever it is. So you're telling me this used to cost at the start of the game whatever this times 2 is? Curious. Well, whatever. Yes, we need more workers doing worker things, as workers do. Frankly, I'm kind of inclined to rush this construction. And maybe even rush these constructions and just get more work. We don't have the money to do that right now, so I guess we'll have to wait. Alright, you know what? We'll save the cash then. And we have nobody further to move, so I guess we'll end the turn. And we'll wonder whether those elves will attack us. Now we got some islands to pick up anyway, so we can always wait the turn or two. Alright, skip. And you guys are good, you will move, you're good, and oh, I do want to double check for more considered lords. No dice. Alright, end the turn. Let's see what we're looking at here. Scraggy. Military access. You got 2 settlements? Oh, there's no point. You're gonna be dead. Plus we got Goldtooth as an ally anyway, so... really don't see the need. Alright, Heshuatla. Will they continue moving southward? They seem to have gone northward or back to the Isthmus of Lustria after they kicked Yuan Bo out of the place. But it doesn't mean they won't move back southward immediately. Well, now. I guess we'll just have to see. Alrighty, and I believe that's it for the turn. Yes, we are looking okay. Alright, so first things first. Now, Wild Hunt ceases, convoy complete, army receives plague. Oh no. Well, that was bound to happen. Alrighty, we'll have to set these guys out to be plague ships for a bit after a while. And oh! Would you look at that? Aha, finally, setting Khemri against these guys has worked. Strength rank 3, settlements 34. Huh, we were gonna sail over there and help against these guys, but now these guys are in trouble. And probably that explains, well, partially explains why they would have sent some of their armies our way. And what do we have here? Efficiency. Okay, well, you need to collect workers. In fact, let's take a look at this by efficiency. Alright, let's get these guys some workers. You. Drop a few. Oh, you're gonna need public order. Soon, anyway. And you and you, like so. Alright, good. More raw materials. Now, the Conclave influence is fine, at least for now. Alright, you. Grab the shipwreck and explore the island, and hey, you can auto-resolve it. Good. And pick up a little bit more in the way of... I'm gonna say money this time. Alright. Since we're waiting here, there's no need to attack or move further. You can then... Actually, wait, do you heal more in the Great Ocean or here? 42 and 4 versus... 42 and 4, exactly the same amount. Alright, so go right beside... Oh, Remnants of Battle most likely isn't the battle. Yeah. Arabian Arms. Like so, and then we'll proceed to Sea Corps, which I'm willing to bet you won't be able to auto-resolve. Although I would like to nonetheless attempt it. Wait, you know what? Here's what we'll do. You will transfer all of these guys to the needful guy. Good. And what do we have here? Fell Cargo, Mysterious Island. Alright, that's free. Free stuff. Go to the Mysterious Island. And go for those who escaped. Local Amulet, don't really care. There's more islands out there, including another Mysterious Island, but we can send... Actually, we could send this guy out there. Burguna's still in our recruitment territory. Yes. While we have this recruitment territory... Oh, actually, wait. Too many things to do. Let us go for factory. Rush. Factory. 210. Yeah, rush it nonetheless. Factory, rush, then clay pit. Oh, I should have built the clay pit and then rushed it for making it cheaper, whatever. Like so. Alright, the other stuff we could just build. For pretty cheap, mind you. And what else was here, incidentally? This thing includes armaments output, so I guess it's armaments that we should do. Armaments 150 per turn. Yeah. And I don't think that we need to rush this, or at the very least, we are not in desperate need of it. We should probably still upgrade all of this stuff, or keep upgrading all of this stuff, because, again, it's never going to be cheaper. It's fine. Alrighty, what about this? 270, nice and cheap. 450, just do it. And 1350, yeah. Just so that we don't have to look at this territory. Also, you will need to re-up some of your laborers. So let's lose a few more here. Gain a few back here. And like so. We, by the looks of it, can't afford to sell off too many right now. Let's also do a set an example public order thing here. And to reduce some of the losses, we will do a sell-off here for sacrifices to Jarna Grund. Plus, wait, in our main territory, in Piranha Swamps, we always want to sell off for the extra 20% income. Because it's our biggest money-making territory. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna hold off on the rest. Speaking of Piranha Swamps, I wanted to upgrade a few of these things, but unfortunately we no longer have the raw material, so we'll just do it next turn. Fair enough. If you're not recruiting for a couple of turns, then I think we are free to send you to grab that mysterious island. Hopefully you don't run into the... There was a rogue fleet out here somewhere. You know what? Just land in Zarmuda just in case it's safer. Yeah. It's just safer. Alrighty. Next up, we have Connie Truai and you guys. Going to essentially defend against the lizards. Who are you fighting right now? You're fighting Jade Court, Spinosotic Dwarfs, and us. Okay. Meaning we should probably keep attacking. I was going to say if they're fighting the elves or anybody up there, what we should instead do is... Really? I'm gonna go around this way? Okay, fine, fair enough. If we're fighting the elves... Oh, wow, you guys cannot move at all. I should have just jumped you. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but these guys were distracted fighting here, then we could just ignore them, because frankly, this army has gotten a lot of playtime in this particular campaign, but if that's not the case, then it's not the case. Hellbeard, you have maxed yourself out. Alright, so I would like you to do two things. You go here into the settlement. No, wait, we cannot go into the settlement. I lied. Because if these guys besiege it, then, you know, bad. You will then take from Hellbeard... Yeah. Do two for now. Hellbeard, although they are not going to stay in your army... Though, I guess we could do a couple of lead belchers. Flamethrowers wouldn't go into this army, but yeah, we can do a couple of lead belchers. What do we have out of Spinosotic Dwarfs? We got the artillery pieces. We could get a few more of those if we should desire. Again, I was gonna put Slayers in this army, but
Trained by the
admittedly not the most effective unit of the skink hewers / goblin heroes against piles and piles of high elven archers and northern sea guard. We need the ability to kill droves of them. I guess we could still build the flame cannons and just deliver them to another army. 3 turns to build them though. Yeah, but nonetheless, we do want the units. Alright, you know what? Let's have you start on the... what? Oh. In camp. Start building the flame cannons. It's gonna take a while, but at least this isn't the main stack anyway. Alright, looking good to me. You. I would like you to land at Crimson Hideout, and I hope that you can do it in 1 turn. Yes, you can. They will sally out, no doubt, because they have a lot of constructs. So we'll do this. Then we will level you. And get ready to fight. Hellforged Ordnance. Yes, yes. Then we will do... I'm gonna say miscast base chance. Guy did miscast a couple of times. You. Infernal Death Mask. It'll at least make you immune to fear. You know what? Let's do... Wait, unless you already have it. No, you don't. I'm gonna do this in the immunity to psychology, because the Shouty that gets summoned will be summoned on top of the Infernal Castellan, because he's usually there to protect the other units. Therefore, we could probably use him. Anyway, you would like to go forward, but don't go so far where these guys can reach you. In fact, go into regular stance, in case they can, well, reach you. And then, we will want to trade Copper Landing and Duskgate to these guys.
Let's hear what you have to say. We'll hear it before oath gold.
5,000 gold. You know what? Maybe we wait on that a little bit. Build something cheap like the Hobgoblin mustering camp. We could use some of the money from them, but at the same time, and once again, I would like access to Slayers, so we'll just let them keep investing that cash. Alrighty, Abnagg is good. Sumayaz, Gaxu, you know what? Just do this. See what happens. Ah, you can. Auto-resolve. Nice. Take the... I'm gonna say labor is more important than money right now. I like so. Treasure. Then... This is a fell cargo, which is a fight. However, you might be too damaged to fight it again, and we gotta wait till to attack the elves anyway, so I'm gonna have you go here. Alright, we do have cash as well. Alright, that looks good to me. We still have to... Who's Durgrime again? Oh, that's this guy. Alright, hero check. Hey, we do have another confrontational bull centaur. We just need the capacities. And another unethical infernal castellan, but once again, we don't have the capacities. It is unfortunately rather difficult to get a decent amount of them. Wait, is that a tier 3 or is it a tier 4 that we get the capacities? It's tier 3, really? Yeah, so we only have 3 of these buildings. We'll need to build another one somewhere. I'd say like in Shalanwapek, but we're probably going to go for the high quality assembly line here because it's probably more worth it. There's also probably buildings that we should be building. Alright, fair enough. Raw materials and trade for some money. Yeah, I think we're going to go for the gold panners. Let us also build up the alchemist workshop. I don't really care about the watchtower, but I also don't want to look at it every turn, so let's just do it now. Alrighty. Where can we do stuff that costs gold? Dusk Peaks, yes. Mineshaft, and you are accepting labor. Good, we may as well... I was about to say upgrade the Overseer's Tower, but it would be nice to have the reductions, but it's going to be a while until we capture Citadel of Dusk, so we may as well. And then might as well go for the Money Pit. Alrighty, what do we have here? Southern Sentinels, you're fine. You outpost, however, will need laborers, and strip mine, accept new labor while you're at it. Mosquito Swamps, this is a factory and therefore ignorable. Kayaks is self-healing. It's gonna be a while until it gets up to tier 3. I would like the patrol routes, but just get the patrol routes. And frankly, the donation barrel. Ah, yes, strip mine. Okay, more workers, good. We'll transfer it to these places soon. Beautiful. With every strip mine, that'll be a few more factories that we can sort of, you know, get going. Gets me going. Anyway, skip, minus the convoy dispatch, which I was about to say shouldn't have skipped, but, you know. Alrighty, so you're returning to capital. We have the Arashi Ironbeard convoy, though. Assuming you are not heavily damaged, you are fine. Let us send you somewhere. Add master. And we will dispatch you to, as I recall once again... Oh, this would be trading armaments for labor, but we could do that. The shorter trips seem to be better, so we'll just do a shorter trip. Again, just keep spamming Great Hall of Greases. All of our armies are going to have a huge pile of ogres, but, well, it's not a bad thing. 659, 1,000, might as well. Dispatch. We've got all the items because we've been to all the places, unless I'm mistaken, so we should be good. Anyway, well, looks like you're good. Keep doing convoy things. Now we're ready to end the turn once again, although, admittedly, we probably don't have enough time to end the turn and then fight the little fight here, so I think maybe then this is probably going to be the place where we call it. Yeah. Certainly, this is going to be the final battle against these guys, and it's going to be a nice enough fight to, you know, fight it next time. So, I'll call it here. Next time we finish off Bone Island and the Deserters of Katep, and position ourselves to perhaps defend or perhaps fight Heshwatla, while getting ready to fight some elves and keeping on trying to construct those Spinozotic dwarves. I will do my best to get at least a couple units doing some things, even if it's only for a couple more battles, as the campaign is on its way out, as we're way past the point, as in the engagement is low enough that it's bad for the channel to post it. So, you know, oh, hello. I didn't realize, oh, no, wait. We haven't been upgrading this for good reason, and that reason being that this place should be a factory anyway. Anyway. A couple more episodes to come. I think we'll probably end it by 20, so stay tuned for those. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.